All right, folks, welcome to the 19th losing streak. I haven't had a win in Forex in a long time. This is the 19th losing streak. Am I down way more than my winners? Nope. It's not even close to 25% of my profits, right? Yes, still losing streak, but the risk management is on point where I'm not losing, more than what I'm gaining, right? This is like a one third of my overall profits, right? For this here. Yeah, that's a lot. That's they maybe some a lot. I mean, we all go through this, right? We all go through some losing streaks, right? But the risk is managed. My goal isn't even to actually make money at this point. Not at this point. My goal is to learn, right? There's always a lesson to learn. There's always a lesson to learn, and today it's those type of days, right? For the past 19 losing streaks, like the past 19 consecutive losses, it's just been lessons over lessons. As you guys know, our box has been beautiful, right? We've been correct like almost all the time. People wondering, well, how the fuck are you still losing? You gotta keep in mind the lower time frame, we have smaller stop losses, so market stops us out, gives our setup, and moves in our direction. Or other way would be our boss gets wrong, which that's due to higher time frame, which is because I don't prioritize DXY over EU. Now, as I said, these 19 consecutive losses just, gives me lesson over lessons over lessons. And, it's because of that, as well as the times where we are correct for multiple days straight up. Is those days were just, those days are just, those days are just days where the market just moves to strong liquidity without giving the setup, which that is the whole reason why we weren't able to catch the trades, because we were supposed to catch the trades at the manipulation or right after the manipulation before the huge expansion, which those ones is where we fuck up, right? I said we get an entry, we get stopped out, more goes on our way, and most of them is due to GU. If you guys know GU, shit is pissing me off. I found out that all my beautiful trades that had a 14, 26, multiple 8 RRs, multiple 10 RRs, multiple 5 plus RRs, 14 RR trades that had an SMT primarily, I checked all of them, right? I was like, what this do? And just based on SMT, because the losses I've had were because of lower time from SMT with GU and not DXY, and higher time frame with GU, but now at DXY, and I get fucked, right? It's just like this. This one is still going in our favor, so I want to see some sort of potential respect of the zone. If that could definitely happen, that would be nice, right? We can get respect of this model one. So you can see our setup happened. This setup we should have not taken it, but right after that we get another setup, which that one performed very well. It's still performing, so we still have not been stopped out on that. That I take a trade. Unfortunately, I can only take one trade a day, so I couldn't execute this trade. I have to wait. Either I risk the tomorrow's trade for this, or potential tomorrow trade for this, or because I have to wait till the next day in order for me to execute this trade, or I take a tomorrow trade, potential continuation trade, right, which is still fine, and that's probably gonna be the goal, because on this setup, if I go to sleep and set a limit order, fuck, hate limit orders, right? I don't like to put limit orders. I like to be on the market, because the only time people usually put limit orders is if they're working, right? I don't work. I have my own businesses, so I could wake up anytime, right, and get the work done. Because I'm a real estate middleman, as well as I own real estate, as well as because before you own real estate, you have to be a middleman, right? So it's actually better than, it's still people call it a job, but I don't do that. I don't do it too often because now I own my own real estate, but I still gotta do it, sometimes due to I have a license, right? So, and I want to learn more about the real estate industry because my brother wants to buy a facility, and he says I'm in charge of doing that, right? Because he's so busy um with his business that he has barely any time to do so. So I'm gonna take over a little bit, help him with his business, get some profits there because no, that's what I said. I have to keep on being a middleman at the moment still. Although I own a real estate, you owning a real estate doesn't mean shit, right? So I still gotta do the work because I don't have too much knowledge. I do have knowledge to an extent, but keep in mind, above every knowledgeable, there's one more who's knowledgeable. And same to trading. 19 consecutive losses on Forex, which only took 1/3 of our whole profit of the year. 19 consecutive losses, and all of them had a lesson, right? So same thing. So all of them gained us a permanence of knowledge. Same to business. So the more you keep on, being a middleman, keep on learning. This location is better than this location, etc., etc. Then you can become the same thing, right? You can be better. You're gonna know, okay, I'm gonna buy a facility. This is what I'm specifically looking for. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Today is the 19th anniversary of the consecutive losses. I'm dead ass, yeah. I'm dead ass. I'm in a 19 losing streak, and I'm down. Yes. Let's play a guessing game. Guess how much I'm down. Let's play. Let's play. You got your answers? 6%. I'm only down 6% out of my team because, bro, after my third loss, I started risking 0.25% on every single trade. Not because I'm in confidence, because I knew that I am missing out a lot. So I need to fucking risk less because I know there's gonna be more losses, and those losses piled up. And keep in mind the reason why they're piling up because I don't backtest. This is a way because you're doing bad. But like, and when I backtested, the backtest sessions were just full of dopamine. There was literally like I can't learn from backtesting, and somehow this is primarily to me. So that's why these losses are happening because this is like a forward testing live market data where I will still learn because backtesting, the move already happened, so the mind doesn't look for those specific genres. But when in live data market, you're in live, you could literally see, okay, look for as this, that, etc., etc. So I don't buy doing backtesting. I did backtest at the beginning, but it just filled me up with fake dopamine with pattern trading because I would see this CRT work, this CRT work. I'm like, oh shit, up, down, up, down. I enter the market, up, down, loss, 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 loss. So yeah, and you can see I'm not emotional. A lot of you guys, somebody DM me, bro, like, yo, bro, have you had a win yet? He's like, I said, nah, I'm still waiting. Because like, oh shit. I was like, so you're still down a lot? Still down now? How many consecutive losses you have? I said 19. I was like, damn, bro. How do you feel? And I feel, you can see, I feel a little happy. I don't feel no emotions because I know that I'll make it all back plus more. Plus, the knowledge is much more worth it because, as I said before, I'm losing little. 6% loss, right? In the 19 consecutive losses. And 2 or 3 trade gonna make it back, but the knowledge is gonna stay with me. Although I'm losing very little, the knowledge stays with me. So now if I have a lot of capital, which I do, I will definitely implement it in my market once I see some sort of consistency, I'll add it back up. But when that happens now, instead of me going to that big, large capital, losing a lot, I would lose. I would rather lose this much and still have the same lesson, but lose way less. And when I go back to the large capital, these don't happen. These losses don't happen. These losses don't get piled up. So we're gonna make much more. So like, if I go back to my life capital, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If I go back to my life capital right now, like not like live, what I mean by life capital, like higher capital, higher allocation, bro, one single trade makes it all back. One single trade, and yeah, that's the power of capital and allocation. The less into risk, the more you make. But today, as I said in my last video, that I was looking for the live if principle, but when it was like market never went below this low. So why are you looking for the if principle here? The reason why I'm looking for the if principle here, although it didn't wick below, is because I called it asset wick below, which is DXY and GU. Fuck GU. Matter of fact, we could move GU right now because I'm not gonna longer look at GU, man. It's been fucking me up, fucking bad, like shitless bad. Check my trades, like I was like, okay. I checked the big winning trades that had SMT. Yes, he had SMT with GU, but he also had SMT with DXY. But I checked the trades where I fucking getting fucked left and right. He had SMT with GU, now with DXY. So I was like, bro. And I tried to check Romeo and his disciples. I was like, this pilot just said DXY is more important than EU. If DXY is more important than EU, fuck GU. Like his how gold is, right? Gold and silver. NQES is not NQES and YM, because YM is a third party, right? YM is relevant for the pairs. Same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, ETH, right? Those are the most highly correlated asset. Fuck the other assets, right? The other assets does happen, right? Because fucking Bitcoin can have a SMT with almost any altcoin, but they're less relevant. So how to find this a little hard way which we're gonna talk about. So yeah. DXY is much more important than EU. This is so fucking correct because DXY doesn't have anything to it, right? Just DXY, it's dollar. That literally says it's more important, right? There's euro, but I'm not even fucking euro. I don't trade fucking euro. I trade primarily anything that goes against the dollar, and it's the world currency, so it's definitely more fucking important than EU, right? EU is just a country. And a shitty ass country, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes, in multiple countries combined, but it's shitless. I ain't gonna lie. I went there. I went there to a trip. I was at London, pretty shitty. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of fucking street dudes' lives. Thank God I didn't go to the fucking train station, bro. It's crazy out there. Thank God my fucking family members over there had a fucking car. Because, bro, you driving a train station over there, bro, you're fucked. That's why I like America. That's why they don't add train stations around the whole nation. They only add train station around specifically New York. That's the only way I see a train station, right? But anywhere else, there's no train stations. Why? Because of the industries of cars. They play Monopoly, right? They fucking basically Monopoly. Like they won't literally let you build a railroad because they're like, you're risking our fucking, our profits, this, that. And America is really fucking huge. Since it's really huge, there's a lot of fucking land, and the land needs to be used. So that's why you see huge ass highways, which is way better than a train station, because I don't want a fucking weird ass guy by me. I want to drive my own shit. Yes, it may be a little more costly, but it's much better, right? The safety net is there, right? Unless you crash, where the fuck would you crash, man? Don't drive recklessly, right? That's number one rule, no matter what, because you don't live once. You live every single day. You live every single day because every time you sleep, you're dead. And God gives you the gift to be still alive, right? So you're always alive, right? You're always living. Every day is a new day. Every day is you live every single day. You don't live once. You live every single day. But you only die once. That's the only thing. So let's get. I don't know how I say that quote, but he comes from a very famous guy. I don't know how he said it, but hey, see the motivational person that has. Let's get straight to it. We've been yapping for 15 minutes straight. I don't give a fuck if anybody watches this, because this I'm watching this. All right. So let's get straight into it. We had a weekly EORL, back to weekly IORL. We had a weekly, no weekly CRT, but we had a daily classic image profile to the downside. So we had Thursday, so on Thursday, we as you guys know, causes a huge, it can cause reversals, reversal, reversal Thursday, buddy. So yeah, the next thing is the next lesson of this trade. Not the next lesson of this trade, but the next context was Thursday. Looking for we need to close in a fair price, which we need the market to go up higher. There's a reversal point usually, as well as we're looking for a wick below, but we had a wick below. We had a SMT with a low, so that was cool. We had that, and what else we had here? We had a daily range, potential daily range getting created, since we know that okay, the Wednesday low is respected, is SMT'd on. So the slows, that's going to be highly a bullish candle. So we have a daily range, super high, super low, stable high, stable low. We have a premium discount, and right over here. So we want to go back to the discount, to the premium, which is to the weekly key level, which tomorrow, let's see if we can have some sort of setup to it. And yeah, that's what we have here. So yeah, with a key level in the lower time frame, we had a small range and a bigger range. A smaller range was just a 1 AM candle, which I'll tell you guys why I fucked it up on this, because of SMT. Has to do this candle, but at the time when I had to do this low, wasn't the SMT that we were looking for, right? We had SMT, some sort of SMT with the wrong pair, with the cross pair. So what we had here was the 13 o'clock was a biggest CRT in the 4 hour time frame. This is a small CRT, so we're looking to use a small CRT as a range. And as I said, the higher time we're looking for a way below, but we never had a way below because we had SMT. And we're looking for a retracement because the weekly time was overall bullish as well in the lower time frame. But we had any daily ranges here. We didn't have any daily ranges. But what we did had was a New York reversal profile 1. Profile 2, at the end, we had a 5 AM accumulation, 9 AM mid-position, 1 peak expansion. But at the beginning, 1 accumulation, 5 AM mid-position, 9 expansion, as well as we had our key level was this low, because he had SMT as low, so our key level is SMT low, but that's all we had here. Now going to lower time frame. Our first entry, the fair value gap below an old low or old high, was there, right? Below this old low, there was a fair value gap, and that got tapped, and that caused a beautiful reaction. I'm not gonna lie to you guys personally. This one I missed it out, but this one it went to a loss anyway. So, but this one, if I were to enter this trade over here, I would have been stopped out. My stop loss would have been so tight, right? So that's the next lesson. There's gonna be multiple lessons here we can talk about pretty quick. And that's what happened. Our first entry got tapped. Our second entry was looking for a threshold because this candle was already, this candle was kind of thick. So I was like, okay, the only time we can use a model 1 entry instead of the duration block is if it makes sense, since it's Thursday, it's close to fair price, as well as since if the candle stick, we can use a threshold of the Russian block and a threshold of the Russian block, as well as that's what we had. But yeah, now what happened was we had low had OTE, so I thought we're pretty cool because we know OTE was protecting our entry. We did get a rejection block, we did get a rejection block. Not a rejection block, we did get a rejection. So like, okay, we have SMT we have OTE protecting us here in the lower time frame, so I had no psychology problem. But I didn't lose and go to loss because my heart was literally pounding. It was like not pounding in an emotional way. It was like usually when I lose, those heart pounds like that, and right when I take a loss, it just goes away. I was like, oh yeah, I don't like to listen to this heart because sometimes it will pound and I'm not gonna go my way, and that will fuck me up. Right? I'm like, yeah, he could save me. Actually, have never had a chance where he actually saved me because I wouldn't listen to it. I never will because emotions are the spices of our life, but it shouldn't be a thing to go and be using as a decision making, right? Emotional stuff shouldn't be a thing to use emotions with, and that's all we had here. And he went to a loss. Retraced. I was like, okay, cool, boom, loss. Yes, 19th anniversary of the losing streak, and this is a beautiful thing because I probably wonder, well, like, man, what the fuck is so happy? This, that, is that? It's because this is a story we can tell about, right? And this is all documented publicly. So if you go back to my last 19 losses, you can literally see yourself publicly. Like this is a story to tell. Hey, let's hope it stops here. But if it doesn't stop here, it goes to 30, 33, 50. I'll be more happy to do so. That's gonna be a bigger and bigger story. I'm like, okay, I had 100 consecutive losses back to back, and I never quit, and I made it back out. I made it out drawdown. I made it out the hood, etc., etc. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be a better story to tell. But when it will, at the moment now, it may look like it, but in the future it will. It will inspire a lot because I've seen people quit when they have 6 losing streak. When they lose a fucking trade, I see people quit because they get too emotional. They get too emotional. And that's one other lessons. Now I'm gonna talk about the lessons here, right? Before we talk about the lesson, let me say one more thing. Is or what was I gonna say? Is a lot of people get you gotta be obsessed. You have to be obsessed. The reason why these losses are not affecting me because I know there's gonna be a good end. Because I'm resonating with other people's stories, right? I seen other people's stories about how they trading was going, right? How what happened before they got successful. I'm literally going through their stage, right? They warned me about it because I saw when you're losing a lot. This was from one of this famous guy. I don't know who his name is, Jordan Belfort, or not Jordan Belfort. Some guy. He went through it, right? He says, it's gonna be a time where you're losing so much, and the only way you can, pass that test or that phase is to have patience and keep on going because after that, it's just gonna be so easy, right? The hard times are gonna come, which is currently right now. I think I'm in a hard time. Not really financially, no. But in the trading wise, at the moment I am. That's why it's not affecting me because I have something else than this, right? As not like I'm not relying on something else, but I have sources of income, right? I don't rely on one. Although I want this to make the biggest one because overall my family is my brother, right? Especially he invests into the indexes, right? The halal indexes. So he tells me like, yo, he made money from it, but he wants me to go further on this, right? Where we can make a lot of money because, saw a pretty good return on that, which that's why I'm so obsessed with this. And this, you shouldn't be doing something you don't like, right? Because when I took up my first job, I was like, I quit right on the spot. I was like, bro, like no matter how much this motherfucker's gonna pay me, I'm not gonna do this fucking job because I don't like it. Do what you like. That's another lesson because no matter how much, I'd rather get paid $50,000 a year trading, which $50,000 a year is so fucking low, as well as I've made way more figures this year, but rather make low income, but do what I love. but now fucking do Uber. Oh yeah, I don't like to get told what to do. Right, some fucking guy when I took an Uber back in London, he's like, yeah man, I like his job because nobody told me to do. I was like, turn right. I'm gonna turn right. Right, so he just fucking got told what to fucking do. Right, so don't do fucking bullshit. You know, when I say do what you like, do a fucking business you like. Don't fucking do Uber, this, that, this, that. That's just ass. Do a business you like start up your own business, like my business. You know, it's trading. My brother, brother's coaching, his path to pro, his his how to call it? What's it called in English, man? Hold on 1 second. I have to think a little bit about this. Not drop shipping. It was his brand, right? His brand has a whole brand around his coaching, around his whole thing. So he's big. Right? He's making a lot. I'm still we're actually competing on how much you can make more, but at the moment he's crushing it. I'm Mubarak. I'm very happy because we're brothers, right? At the end of the day, we're gonna be successful. When we become successful, we're never gonna work in another day in our life. Which at the moment we have to keep on working at our business before we can do it. So right. So and now enough of ranting of that. But yeah, before we go to our lessons, we're gonna talk about the next trade that we had. So right after that loss, we had the 9 candle came around, 9 candle swooped our shit. So this is at the low. So we got stopped out. And one more lesson before we talk about that is before actually I could keep it on here. 5 a.m. was this high. So you can see right after that, souped us out. 15-minute time frame, 9:15. Give us a right amount of one. Had a we had a valid low. When he had for Viga below an old low. So we're now looking for a total trade. We're looking for the model one. So what we had here was we had the right order block, right model one. Because eventually I couldn't take it, but I did see it, but I didn't take it because I was waiting for the day to end because I already took my trade for the day, as well as I don't enter the model one itself. I have to wait till the threshold. So this candle was alrightly thick. It may not look as thick, but it was alrightly thick. So if they enter the threshold got tapped right over here, and eventually you can see exploding away from it. But this setup of what I would have taken this model one itself or the threshold, I would have been taking a threshold. As I said before, my rule says whenever we're taking the model one itself, when I was taking the model one, take the threshold, and you can see the threshold. The model one is kind of thick, so the threshold would have made sense, but I couldn't execute it because I had to literally wait till the next day. Because if I'm taking a trade after, I'm risking the next day's trade. But then to trade the next day, if this gets respected, guess what? You just save yourself. But if it gets respected, we can catch a continuation trade without fucking up. So yeah, that's what happened. So that's the number one. I no longer use SMTs with the GU. Fuck GU, because I said before, check my big winning trades and I check my fucking shitty trades. And the winning trades, they had SMT with GU and DXY, but DXY was included. But every time I took a shitty trade in the consecutive losses, when he had SMT, on the trades that I lost, which had SMT, was when I only had SMT with GU, and I got butt plugged, right? Pause on that. So right over here, let me just show you the tweet. This is the number one. Shout out to Inusity on Twitter, man. That guy is like a. Keep in mind, if I wonder, well, just bring in a fucking tweet. Keep in mind, every discovery I gain, the valid low rule. This valid low rule has already been given out at 2022 from Romeo, in 2023 from Romeo. The valid high of the If I got bubble below, old high, old low, I found out by myself, but it was already out at 2023. I was like, bro, I might as well just fucking page to fucking Twitter to the people that Romeo allows to learn from, right? Like his Anucity as well himself. I'm like, this shit has been out for such a fucking long time. And the SMT with GU and DXY. Check the fucking SMT with GU is shit. The only time you should be using SMT with GU is with holding time, right? Like holding your trade on a, like, you know, depending on how long you're holding for, right? But I'm like, bro, having SMT with GU is shit. And this guy literally proved it. This guy said it long ago. I'm like, bro, time unites all. Not time in price, not time in the market, but time in learning unites all. The more advanced you get, the more knowledge you gain, but those knowledge is already being given out. So basically learn the knowledge somebody already has. So might as well just go fucking learn from the other guy without wasting that fucking time. Like fucking this, I somehow had to go through this trouble, which is beautiful. I'd rather actually lose than fucking, because if I usually, to me, if I don't take a trade, because I know, okay, this trade can have a lesson, but if I don't take the action, my mind might fascinate, which I don't want it to happen. And yes, you have to be wise. Yes, I'm a wise person. I can learn from everything and everyone, but I want to know, okay, I cannot fuck this up because it may not, I may avoid this time, but in the future, I may just fuck it up, right? I may just lose even fucking more money, right? Which is unacceptable, because as a wise person, we learn from everything and everyone. I'd rather make the mistake lose less than make a mistake lose a lot in the future. So DXY, I said right over here, DXY is stronger for Pacific manipulation and overall SMTs, right? But GU is helpful as well, and he said that GU is only helpful for holding your trade for a longer period of time, which to me is bullshit, because I checked the DXY every time there was SMT with GU, there was SMT with DXY. When the SMT with GU's ERL, there was SMT with DXY's registration block. Registration block will cause a retracement. And the next tweet is like right over here. Right over here. DXY is stronger than GU when looking at EU. Avoid trading SMTs and entry if there's no proper total soup. So usually the GU SMT will give you no proper total soup or no proper SMT. So when I check my trades that are fucking getting lost left it back with SMTs, and the SMT that took that they were getting fucking back, back to getting where I got fucked back to back was with GU. But every time the good trades that I checked, the SMT was GU and DXY. I'm like, bro, I'd rather fucking just use DXY and not use GU, because GU is giving me false fucking total soup, not a proper total soup. So every time those good trades happen, they happen with GU. And almost a little bit, maybe guys, another one here. This is DXY. The next lesson is DXY is more important than EU. So we're always gonna pay attention to DXY, always more than EU. We're gonna analyze DXY and trade on EU, right? We're gonna DXY is more important than EU, which was fucking proven to be right, because DXY always gives the right fucking bias, but EU could fucking stagnate. And analyze on DXY, execute on EU. He yields the highest accuracy, which is fucking true. It's so true, because they're literally the same thing. They rarely go against each other. And those rarely times are SMTs, right? And those are fucking good SMTs, proper SMTs. And yeah, that's the first lesson. Second lesson is whenever there's an OTE, will it go like this? Whenever there's an OTE, not SMT, I mean, whenever there's an OTE and the 0.86 mark is below our entry or above our entry, depending if we're selling or buying, we're gonna scale down to lower time frame and look for the lower time frame entry that's at the 0.86 mark. And that's only if there's OT. If there's no OT, we don't have to. But if there's OT there, we have to. In this case, we could have entered here. Yes, you're still gonna lose, but you would have been better off, right? You would have been way better off. Yes, you're still gonna be lost, but we would have been better because we would have, not felt the emotion of fucking feeling it going to a literally loss, right? We would have fucking stopped that quick, which is good. And that's only implemented in specific days, right? If there's a day like today, Thursday needs to close in a fair price, and if it's the OTE, because actually. Yeah, actually, yeah. So when there's OT, we have to enter like that. But you gotta also keep in mind, well, if we're taking the London session move, basically for New York, and the market is respecting the London move, and when we take the London session move, we must, in order for us to take the London move, we must be supported by OT, and if the OT is beyond the London entry area, on the scale into low time frame and look for that entry. Same thing we're doing to New York, but just London. And yeah, that's the next lesson. The next lesson is to only look for SMT with DXY than GU. Why? Because GU is less important than DXY. DXY is actually more important than EU. And quote, as she says herself, analyze on DXY, execute on EU. It yields the highest accuracy, and it's very true. And this is the reason why I stand by this, because my good trades, I said before, the killers. When you had SMT, yes, I had SMT with GU, but it had SMT with DXY. And the shitty trades only had SMT with fucking GU, which, boom. And eventually, this setup right here had SMT with DXY and GU, but DXY is included, and it's performed very well. Yes, it may still go on a loss, but that's not the main problem. The main problem is the SMT being stronger when it's with DXY, right? So yeah, that's the next lesson. The next lesson of that is to okay. So we talk about those lessons. Yeah, that's all of the lesson. Take one trade a day, and wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, because this time I woke up a little late because I couldn't fucking fall asleep for some reason. Man, I would be had a fucking shitty dream. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I had a nightmare of a dream. It would piss me off. Not like a nightmare of a dream, but a dream which I didn't like. Right? I had my dream where I'm not gonna talk about it, but a little pissy. So I couldn't fall asleep. And yeah, if this goes down lower, helps it out, okay, cool. We're not gonna take a trade. We're gonna wait until the next week, and we're probably gonna be bearish. But yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share. That's the lesson of the whole trade. And there's probably plenty of more setups, but that's all I wanted to literally talk about. There's probably more lessons, but that's the only thing I want to talk about. That's pretty good of a lesson. And yeah, every other lesson we already talked about at the beginning of the video. So yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share. Don't forget to below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.